So what you're not going to do is chuck your head out like a turkey at Christmas, okay? Ready to have his neck cut off. You're going to keep it nice and neutral.
Welcome to the Gym and Tonic Podcast with me, Tim Chase. And today I am joined by Mr. David Hornbuckle. What is going on, Dave?
Thank you very much for having me on your show, Tim. Really excited. A bit nervous. First podcast I've ever done. So I thought we'd start the thing off with a gin and tonic. Oh, is this gym and tonic, not gin and tonic?
Yeah, what have you gone for?
I thought we were just going to sit here and get smashed.
Well, that's the idea, mate. We're not actually going to do anything. It's the end of the year. There's no point discussing anything. Just drink.
Yeah, I'll go to my AA meeting after this. So yeah.
It's
water, guys. It's water.
If it was a gin, what gin would you have gone for?
What's that?
What gin would you have gone for if you could have gone for a gin?
Christ. I'm more of a spiced rum fan. If I'm
right.
Yeah, you know, a bit of Kraken. Hence why the super duper glass there. Developed the taste for that during the lockdown when the paddling pool was out and all that in the summer heat, which was good.
What was that? Kraken? Sorry, you cut out for a second. Do you say Kraken?
Yeah, Kraken, spiced rum, or a bit of spiced rum. What's his name? Captain Morgan's. That's it.
Yeah. All tastes the same after a few, mate.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Yeah.
So, talk to us. Who is David Hornbuckle, and what have you been up to this year, mate?
Well, this year actually was obviously it's been a bit of a tough year for us all, but it was the point in my life where I was giving up my normal job. I was a commissioning engineer on air conditioning systems for about 20 years, but I finally got to a point in my life where I could change over careers and go full time as a Yumeiho therapist. Now I say Yumeiho, you say Yumeiho. What is this? What is it about? Like, you know, so. It's a therapy that's two treatments in one, which is, I have a story behind why I went into it and learned it. I'll get to that soon. But yeah, I gave up my career at the beginning of this year, just in time for a lockdown.
Yeah, mate, I don't know if that's good or bad timing. I mean, what prompted the move? I mean, before we go into what this therapy that I can't pronounce is, what prompted the move from air conditioning engineer, probably a stable salary, even though it is England, so I'm guessing you don't have a ton of work to do, but what prompted the move?
Well, basically what happened was I've been in construction for Christ knows how long, 20 years or so, and a fair old few years now ago, I put my own back out, and I was walking around like, sorry to swear on your show, but I was walking around like I'd shit my pants for about a year and a half. So, yeah, and if you got lower back trouble, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
so
mate, it is. You can't get comfortable, can you? You can't. You're upright, it hurts. You bend over, it hurts.
No, you sit there, you're moving like this all the time, and you know it really does get you down, and it causes no end of grief in other departments. Like you could even go into depression or anything. You know, you're always ratty with people as well, and you're snappy, and you just think, just go away and leave me alone. Like, you know, just in so much pain all the time.
I swear you find with that as well, because you always, every time you move, you make a noise like, you get everyone taking the piss going, is that your back again? Oh,
I don't know. I think that's just dad noises, mate. You know, when they get up, you know. But yeah, so basically then I spent a lot of time trying to find a therapy out there. I mean, over the course of, you know, a year or so, I probably spent a good, you know, £1,500 on different therapies, you know, you name it. Osteopathy, chiropractic, physio, trigger point therapy. I tried yoga, Pilates, the lot. But it just wouldn't go. There's this niggling pain, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I mean, the thing, it was always there. I could kind of manage it. It was, you know, it's one of these where if you just rested for a couple of weeks, the pain would go away, you go back to work and you're doing your normal activities and stuff. But this particular time I was around with mates. I remember he got his home gym set up and I was doing a squat and I putting a barbell on the back, and as I went down, I couldn't come back up. I was screaming, just take the weight off. You know, it was horrendous. And from that point onwards, I just could not get back to normal. But yeah, it was horrendous. It was the most horrendous pain I'd ever been through, and it didn't go away. Sorry, mate. Just said your internet's unstable, so I was trying to open the door a little bit more.
I was going to say, yeah, someone's playing PlayStation, mate.
Yeah, so then, what's that?
Someone's stealing all your Wi-Fi.
Probably him watching downstairs. He's probably little and watching Odd Bods or something down there. I don't know what he calls it. I was into Turtles, but he's into Odd Bods or something. I don't know.
Because I'm going to have to edit this now because he's into Odd Bods. That's what I'm going to have to do.
I'm sure he'll make an appearance at some stage. But,
Hope so.
Yeah, we'll get him up here for you. I can't remember what I was saying now. That's old age.
You did a monster squat and then your back gave way at the bottom of the squat.
I don't know if it was a monster squat. I mean, your monster squats are a complete different range to what mine were. But yeah, I just couldn't come back up. And from that point forward, I probably spent about a year to a year and a half trying to find different therapies to get me better. But nothing could. Back, it just basically felt like I'd been punched in the kidney. It made it worse, really. It didn't really do anything. Complete waste of time. Then literally, and I'm a firm believer in things happen for a reason. Just on the off chance, I just didn't give up. Because I studied Japanese style of martial arts previously, back in the day, I started looking into sort of like Eastern medicine. But then I came across this Japanese style of therapy. It was called Yumeiho. And I was like, again, what on earth is this?
Yep.
And basically, I looked into it and I thought, cool, this is what I need. I just knew it was what I needed for my body. And I went online to see if there was a person over here who dealt with it. And I phoned him up. I said, look, can you treat me? And he said, well, don't worry about it at the moment. He said, we're hosting a seminar next week. And I said, oh, okay, well, where are you hosting that? And he said, Sutton. And it was in the church, Trinity, to that, the seminar. And after they gave the sort of like introduction to it, he said, do you want me to check you out, sort of see what's wrong? And I said, yeah, definitely. And he literally, don't get me wrong, I'd had a lot of work done to my back. It was just the missing piece of the puzzle. And he said, I know what your problem is. He said, your pelvic alignment is out. So he literally put me on the mattress, did his thing, and I got up and I was like, oh my God, you have just fixed me. I was like, flipping hell. It was unbelievable. Changed my life.
David, you keep cutting out. So I think I got most of that. What did he do? I mean, firstly, how many people turned up to this therapy? Because obviously you found it online. It was in Sutton. Are we talking like 5 people, or was it a packed sellout?
Yeah, it wasn't many, unfortunately. No, it wasn't. It was just like 5 people. I mean, seminars over here, you and I probably both know that unless it's like a major martial arts festival at the NEC in Birmingham, like that, it's not really going to get many people, turn up for something new, I suppose. Unless, well, it's just us English are, isn't it? There we go. I think that's a bit better.
So to summarise the Wi-Fi problems, you had a lower back issue. You researched and tried a load of therapies, and stumbled across the Japanese therapy, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce. And they had a seminar in Sutton, which is ironically where you're based. And he performed some magic move on you, which instantly cured your lower back issue.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'd had a lot of work done to me back. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
What was the move? What was the move? That was what I was asking.
So what it is it's kind of like, if you're familiar with the term, it's kind of like what they call a lumbar roll, but where people or like a chiropractor or an osteopath put you on the side and they work at horizontal angle. Mm-hmm. They high velocity thrust, but this was more of a stretch almost. But he worked at a diagonal angle. So my pelvic alignment was, say for instance, this is my right side of my pelvis, this is my left side. It was higher. It was called like an upslip. So basically, I was tilted like this. If you can imagine, I'm doing But the thing is, it's very, very clever. So it compensates for your centre of gravity. So realistically, I'm sort of leaning over like this. Then my upper body was pretty much like that for the barbell squat. So as I'm going down, my pelvic alignment is still like this. So all the pressure where my spine was tilted over to the left, all that pressure was on that lower disc. And that is why it just pretty much blew, basically, like a bulging disc. But once the pelvic alignment went back in, all the pressure was taken off of the lower back, and that was it. I was able to crack on like I am now. It was crazy.
And then how long did that last for? So that treatment that he did on you, that one lumbar roll, did that last like permanently, or was that something you had to get regularly treated?
It's kind of like you have to keep on top of it, and this is where I've learned as I've gone through the paces of being a therapist over time, and this is where experience comes into it. I learned a lot prior to being a Yumeiho therapist to try and keep my back from hurting, or trying to keep myself as pain-free as possible. And basically, I call it back management, which I learned off of another therapist years and years ago, but I didn't know how detrimental it was to keep yourself from being in a lot of agony, But that is the key element, is back management.
Okay.
Because it's all well and good me fixing someone, but it's no good when people go, oh yeah, Dave's really good. He gets you out of pain, but it only lasts a couple of days, and then you're back to square one again. I want that reputation. So with my therapy, and this is me personally, not just Yumeiho, is that I try and look after people out of the treatment room, as well as being there to fix them in the first place. So when, say for instance, like an example of the workplace, while we're sitting here looking at you with a laptop, so people at office desk, when they do the classic sort of Mr. Burns look, looking at their laptops.
Yeah, like the lockdown position.
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly what's come about it. So things like, you can raise your screen up, which brings you up. You can bring your chair forward, which brings you back. Silly little things in life, but it makes all the difference. All these little tweaks and all that to your everyday life makes all the difference to keeping you back pain free or neck pain free or anything like that.
So before we go into what the therapy is, then, because this is something that obviously I want to know a bit more about as well. Did it? Would you say then you are pain free now almost since that?
I am. Yeah. You have got to keep on top of it. My back goes every now and again. I won't lie. That's just life. I still help out in construction again and stuff. And the last time it went, I lifted up a rubble sack, and lo and behold, it was the last rubble sack I was loading into a skip. And I didn't watch my form. The core is a main thing to protecting your lower back. A lot of people think it's, strengthening up the lower back doing sort of deadlifts and stuff, arching the back and stuff. It's actually a lot of it to do with your core. Okay. But then, I didn't tighten my core, I didn't lift right, and bang, it went on me, And it does. The recovery period is for me anyway, it's, I can't just be fixed and away you go. It's damage there. And every time you damage yourself, you're prone to getting worse and worse. So you really have got to keep on top of your back management, basically, when you because I like to say to people that you're investing in yourself. I come to see me, it's not being fixed, going away, and then putting you back out with doing the same old stuff that you're doing throughout your everyday life, sort of thing. You've got to change it.
You've got like a duty of care as well, which is nice, that you're not just there to make the money. You're there to almost, or you are there to change someone's life. We can't.
I am, yeah, and like it changed my life, and because I know how bad it is, and that's why I give a shit, basically.
And people, you can't put a price on that. I've got a mate of mine who's had a shoulder issue. I won't go into the details, but he's had a shoulder issue for the best part of sort of 6-7 years, and it's put him out of everything. Work, training, and he's spent probably 5-6K the last couple of years on private healthcare, and it's only now he's found the right person with whether it's the right diagnosis, I don't know, but with a diagnosis that seems to be making him better. And he's like, I would spend that money all day again if I could, like the 4 or 5 grand. So you really can't put a price on it because, is your whole, your whole.
Health's the most important thing at the end of the day, And when that's kind of, when people say, oh, how much is it? And I'm like, well, it's blah, blah, blah. And they go, oh, bloody hell. And I'm like, well, you're quite happy to spend that at the weekend or the night out. And, do you want to get better or not, sort of thing. And that's why I try extra mile, because there are a lot of people that I've been con myself when I was trying to go through it, and it was this particular guy, he wanted me to spend 50 quid every couple of days, and I for a couple of times, but I didn't feel any difference. And I kind of got the vibe that he was just doing bits and pieces, trying to drag it out as long as he could. And I was like, and it made me realise, there are people out there that are just in it for.
I realise you cotton onto them. You cotton onto them because they have a similar method of working, and it's the same every time. And it doesn't matter what you go and say; it's just going to be very similar treatments in a very similar order, with no attention in different areas. And physios and therapists, whatever you want to call them, I'm not an expert in the area that I go to, I see regularly. Once they may use, whatever, cupping, or once they might use acupuncture, another time they might use deep tissue. When you start talking to them about what they're doing, they give you the reason why they're doing that. You realise, okay, they're not just doing it just to make the quick buck. They're doing things, and they might say, like I had one guy say, I'm not going to use the Graston technique, the metal rod on you, because we're causing damage just for the sake of damage.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to cause more damage than good. And you're thinking, okay, like these are the people that I want to go back and see, the ones that are,
exactly. I mean, I get cut. I normally sort of say, everyone says like, how long is it going to take? And I'm like, well, how long's a piece of string, mate? And I know a lot of people out there don't like to hear that, but if you've been to see someone prior to seeing me, and they tell you it's going to take 10 sessions, which I've actually had someone tell me this before, when I actually said to him, I don't know how long it's going to take, we're just going to go based on how you feel after a couple of days of each. He said, I like that answer, because he goes, I've been told before I needed 10 sessions. He thought, great, I'm going to do 15 sessions. And he wasn't. And they said, you need to book another 10. And he was like, are you joking? So, it's, you help people at the end of the day, and that's what people need to do, really. Because
that's your business, referrals, and people. You can't replace someone's positive feedback on something like that. Like you're swearing by this therapy because you've got first-hand experience. Which as soon as other people have that same experience, they will promote it for what it's worth. But what is it then? What is the therapy? I suppose. What is the summary of the therapy?
So try a little bit of history. It was developed by someone called Sayonji Masayuki. So I'm looking at my notes here just to pronounce everything right. But it's actually called Kotsuban Yumeiho Seitei, and it's actually sort of translated as bone pelvis strengthening life force method. So we'll call it Japanese hip bone therapy, all right?
It is definitely it's focused at the core, lower back, spine region.
So the focus is the pelvic alignment, okay? So...
Oh, wow. So it's really specific then.
Let's get me little model out for you. We'll go for the Batman, all right? So, great bum, all right? But this back belt lines up where the pelvis is, okay? So what happens is if this is tilted, he'll lean to one side, okay? And that puts a lot of pressure on the spine. So with the replication of that being the pelvis, we focus on correcting that alignment. And now I know that doing that. With the alignment, we know that it kind of is the foundation of your body. So if the foundations are incorrect, and they look at it like a building, if the foundations are incorrect, then the building is going to, it's not going to be correct. And eventually it will probably fall over and collapse or whatever. So the same principle with the spine. That's your spine, there's your building. And if the foundations are incorrect, your spine's going to tilt and put pressure on everywhere else. And it is like a chain reaction as well. So you probably, with the pelvic alignment, the right one being higher, you probably see people sort of walking around over exaggeration with one of their shoulders being higher than the other and things like that, which again causes shoulder problems and things like that, and neck problems. So it's like a chain reaction. The other thing is they found, like, obviously the nervous system, it brings the nervous system back online, which controls all the functions of your body. Okay, so if they're compromised, it's a bit like if I grabbed your arm, held it there for 5 minutes, your arm will go dead from the lack of blood flow. Now, the same thing, when the nervous system comes down the central spinal cord, which is straight down here, sends messages from the brain. If they are cut off, they're not going to get your organs working correctly. So you might find that, you have constipation, or, you have anxiety because you've got something in the neck or earache or jaw ache or anything.
I proved this firsthand, mate. I had one session with a chiropractor once, and 15 minutes, they do like about 4 clicks. And one click was obviously for whichever nerve goes to the bowels.
Yeah.
And I was told that, within an hour or two, might be an interesting trip to the bathroom. It was an interesting trip. So much so I had to, it was Instagrammable.
Yeah.
I was there going, what the hell has just happened? And then I went back the second time a week later thinking, oh, I can't wait. It's going to happen again. Like, it's going to be the best.
It doesn't work like that.
Never happened again. So
no, because you release that particular, and you release the pressure off of that nerve, and then your body starts to heal. It brings your healing system online. I get a lot of people after like the neck is brought back into alignment, they get a hot flush of blood rush around the head because it's bringing your healing system back online. They get a bit sort of like dizzy or something like that. It's perfectly normal. It's the nervous system goes, whoa, we've got a lot of healing to do here, and then they come back and they think, oh, is it going to happen again? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Your body's starting to heal. You don't get that sensation again. Which is nice because a lot of people get overwhelmed in certain things like that. I said, but don't worry, it won't be like that again. And it, sure enough, never does, sort of thing, But so it was developed. Waffling on, sorry, mate. It's basically it combines 2 treatments in one, which is why it's so effective. So it's kind of based on like a shiatsu style of massage, but it's performed fully clothed. Okay, so women don't need to feel vulnerable. Okay, they keep their clothes on, and blokes, a lot of let's face it, a lot of geezers don't like taking their clothes on in front of other geezers. So it's a win-win situation, and it combines a full body deep tissue massage with full body joint alignment. So when I put you on, it's performed on a floor mattress as well, although I do perform it on a massage table a lot when people can't get on the floor, can't get back off, or depends what situation I'm in. If a lot of people are in pain, they can't move, sometimes it's best to use a table, but traditionally it's performed on the floor mattress. And what it does is the reason for the massage is to loosen up all the muscles prior to having your joints aligned. So if your muscles are all cramped up like this, and you're trying to twist someone around like this, it's never going to happen because they're so tight, okay, where the muscles, once they're needed, they begin to relax a lot more, and you'll be able to get that twist a lot further round. If that makes sense? So you sort of warm
we did what 3 or 4 sessions, and the first session was almost pointless, wasn't it? Because you everything just goes into lockdown mode, and there's no movement.
That's it, yeah. And the thing is as well is what I like to explain to people is like when they say how many sessions, getting back to that, is I normally recommend about 3 because, as you just said, the first session and your experience, you don't know what to expect. So you're all like this anyway. Christ, what's this geezer going to do to us? And then you think, oh, that wasn't so bad.
It does take a long time to, even if you go for a normal, stereotypical deep tissue massage, it takes a little while to let something actually relax and
release. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I just have to focus on one part of the body, although, it's best not to, but sometimes you have to, because if that's the bit that's in a lot of agony and that muscle you can feel is not releasing, sometimes I just have to press and hold for ages, to. I remember you doing that, and it was like, tell me when you don't feel it anymore. Or like, you're like a minute later and it's still there. And your eyes twitching. And
That's it.
Yeah. But, that's a reason is that, it's holistic. It treats the whole body. So, you can get referred pain. So your upper back, or even vice versa. I've treated someone where they've had sciatica, and all I did was the neck, and it completely alleviated the sciatica pain, and it's gone ever since. So it just really depends who you are, but that's why it works, because it treats the body as a whole, as opposed to just certain points. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does.
Say hello. Come on the podcast.
Yeah, get him on. Oh, hold on.
Is it no? It's this is. She ain't no he. Christ.
I thought you were bringing the mini ones on.
Come, pal, quick. Say hello to Tim.
Hello.
Come on.
Quick. My little.
Quick.
Come on, let's do your hair.
Come on, get the specialist on.
That's it. There he is.
We need someone to talk some sense.
This is Jackson, Jackie boy.
I need to find Wonder.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, because she's.
That's my next door neighbour's cat, by the way. Come on in, off you trot. That's a good lad.
Is she upstairs or something?
I don't know. You go and find
I just wanted. Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
Do you want me to cook your stuffing?
Oh yeah, go on. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're having another turkey dinner. We love a turkey.
Winner turkey dinner.
Oh man, that sounds incredible.
I'd invite you over, but COVID rules and all
I have to sit outside, mate. I think I don't live near you anymore, mate. I've moved miles away now.
Oh, have you? Where are you gone?
I live over in Bromley, so I'm in southwest.
That's not
South
too
East
far.
London. So
That's not too far. I can leave some stuff out on the doorstep for you if you want to come pick up.
I've just told everyone watching now where I live, so never mind. I'm moving soon, so I'll keep that on the down low. So what are the main benefits of is it Yumeiho? Yumeiho. What are the main benefits of Yumeiho? Before you go into who it's for?
What? Sorry, I was singing then. Sorry, mate.
Go for it. Do karaoke, mate. What are the main benefits? Before, because I know you're going to go into who it's for. So, what are the main benefits of the treatment before we kind of go into who would benefit from it?
There are a lot. Sorry.
As in anyone watching who thinks, "Is this treatment for me?"
Yes. Right. So let me do. I've made a couple.
Well, what's the main one? Obviously, is alleviating back pain. I'm assuming is that.
Yes, back, neck, joint, and muscle pain. Okay. Definitely back pain, lower back pain, mid back, any type of back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain. Plantar fasciitis, loads. I mean, there's a in one of the history books in Yumeiho studies, where this guy had 69 different problems, and all of them got alleviated with having regular Yumeiho sessions.
Would you say then it's a rehab treatment rather than a prehab, like it's to help recover from an injury rather than to prevent an injury?
Yeah, no, this both. So it's best, always prevention is better than cure sort of thing, if you like. So I have a lot of people now where they've had treatment and then they just come for me as a once a month maintenance routine, and it keeps them at bay. It really does. And and they find out, and that's what I say, look, I recommend once a month. And a lot of people, whatever, mate. But honestly, it comes sort of like a month and a half, bang, they phone me up and they're like,
knee pain.
Yeah, I've put my back out again or whatever.
Yeah.
That regular, but then it all starts again, you see. So then they have to have a course of regular treatments to get away.
Yeah.
So to keep yourself at bay, it's cheaper to have a once a month maintenance routine, unless you're doing something really ridiculously stupid, like picking up a bubble sack wrong, like I did. But,
yeah.
Majority of the time, if you're keeping yourself safe and watching back management, just once a month is good to keep yourself in check, if you like. And it's it works. It really does work. But as you say, there's a multitude of issues that can help. Plantar fasciitis, which is in the sole of your foot. If you've got cramps in your foot all the time,
that's quite prevalent. A lot of people get that.
Yeah, and there's two reasons realistically why, and it's because again that pelvic alignment is out. So with the right one, it being higher, imagine elastic band going from the bottom of your foot to all the way up to this pelvis, the right side of the pelvis. If I lift that up from the bottom of your foot upwards, it's going to be more tension. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Pulled state. So therefore you might experience cramps in the bottom of your foot, on your right foot. But then what happens is over time, and I'm talking years where you don't know about it, is if it's on the left side, it's because you're leaning to that side for years and years, and your body starts to give out on that left side. And that's probably why you experience cramps in the left foot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm talking always the right side, because generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, it's mainly the right side of the pelvis, just because our anatomy is the way it is. There is no particular reason for it. It's mostly the right side is higher than the left.
higher. Okay.
Right. There's literally only one example that I've been told of by my superiors that there was a woman, I believe it was a woman, don't quote me on this, all of her organs and that were mirror image. It was us about face. And they saw that the left side of the pelvis was higher than the right.
Is this, stupid question, is this all the people you're talking about that have a higher right than left? Are these people that have been cured by the treatment?
Yeah, well, alleviated pain sort of thing.
Yeah, the reason I ask is I've got my right hip is higher than my left by almost 2 centimeters. Now mine is untreatable. So this is where I didn't even know, wasn't going to bring it up. It's untreatable because it's down to a leg length discrepancy. So it's actually a bone, a difference in bone length in the leg.
Right, okay.
So it's one of those ones where the therapy wouldn't be able to treat it, but I'm guessing the therapy could prevent it.
Yeah, it would alleviate your pain.
Yeah.
But obviously, if your actual leg has been yeah, because a lot of people actually come see me and go, oh yeah, one leg's shorter than the other, and I go bang, and no, it's not. But
that's what I had. I had to get a lot.
But through when I saw you, we realised that it was just your leg is shorter than the other.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I've had a lot of X-rays, had it measured, and left is shorter than the right. But it just means that my body over years, I think it's been since birth, has adapted so that everything. When you look at me, my hips are the same height, my shoulders are the same height. Somehow everything in the body is just adjusted.
It does, because it focuses on your centre of gravity.
Because it's physical. Because it's a physical thing, I don't think there's any different. There's any massive issues because it's not been caused over time by tightening, shortening.
Your body adjusts. It's a miraculous thing, to be honest. But hopefully, fingers crossed, you won't get any problems later in life.
I get a lot, but again, with talking to different people like yourself and different treatments, you work out things that work and don't work. But that's
there will be a lot of pressure on your lower spine, but again, through different treatment or whatever treatment that you choose. I'm not saying Yumeiho is, well, I do say Yumeiho is for everyone, but some people don't, they take to it. Some people don't. It's just the way of the world. I don't like certain things in life, and you'll take to other things in life. So, but it can alleviate the tension on the nervous system in your body.
Yeah. What other benefits then?
So you got like golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, bicep tendonitis, can help with anxiety and depression with the neck area, certainly.
Big right now, massive right now.
I pretty much stopped someone's anxiety just by alleviating this muscle tension in the neck before. It was crazy. And it was like real bad anxiety. So that was a massive achievement for me. I was like over the moon.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. I mean, a lot of podcasts recently have been focusing on mental issues, mental health, and things like binge eating. So that is a massive one to a big.
It is, and the thing is, what brings anxiety or depression on it again with the back pain. If you're walking around and you're constantly in pain all the time, you've got to worry about every single world issue that's coming your way, plus an absolute bucket load of pain. Of course it's going to get you down. Of course you're going to worry about things, especially a lot of it was I get builders that are like, come on, mate, I need to be helped now because I've got to get this job over the line. I can't even move. You've got to get back.
You get that loads. You get that so much. Builders limping in and...
and it's heartbreaking to tell them that the body doesn't work like that sometimes. Sometimes, I can get rid of the pain, but just dive right back into, mixing up a load of buckets of cement or whatever, or digging a hole. It's, you're going to put yourself straight back out. It's rules, unfortunately, but, just here to offer advice and help. Miracles do happen.
I kind of get it. I get it now. And I get what you mean now. I get that there's, like people have been looking for an answer to their various issues. And then if you had one session with them and they suddenly felt better, why they then would go, oh my God, this is just an incredible style of treatment. Because I know when I had the treatment, very different to any other treatments.
It is. And it works. And I'm living proof that it works. And that's why I want to get the word out there, because people like me have wasted so much money and time and effort. And it's more about time as well. Like you drive to these and all that, and you think you really, and it does get you down as well. Another thing that gets you down is you think, Christ, am I going to be like this for the rest of my life? And I actually got by the surgeon. There was nothing he could do. He said, what was it? He said, "There's sweet, precious nothing you can do about it, I'm afraid. You have to learn to live with it." Mm-hmm. And this was Ollie Street, top of the range, flipping surgeon.
This is what my friend had. My friend did the same thing. He said, "You're going to have to live with the shoulder issue." And he was like, "I can't live with it." And he contemplated getting shoulder. I think it was, he contemplated getting shoulder surgery, and he could potentially cause a bit of paralysis, I think, because of where they were going to go on the nerve.
Yeah, always.
He said, I'll go for it.
Surgery, last resort for anything, mate, honestly.
He was at the point where he said, "I'll take that surgery and I'll take that risk because I can't live with this anymore."
Yeah. Sometimes it works. Sometimes, you know, I mean, how is he now? Did he go down that route, or?
No. He's found that all it was, by the sound of things, was just a bit of bursitis. You know, inflamed fat sac in the shoulder, pushing on a nerve. If you can then get like cortisol injection in there, start moving it, and he can start rehabbing it. So he probably potentially, I don't know if you'd looked at him, there could have been another way of him solving it. But the fact is, he's seeing there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not just...
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You know, that's another reason for don't ever give up.
That's it.
Never give up. Because if you listen to people that say you can't do it, you do it. But the fact that I just, again, it was a mental thing that I had. That I was just, you know, I can't live like this. That's it. I've got to find something. So keep searching. Yumeiho's not for you, then find something.
I'm glad you said that, because I've said that to so many people. There's so many specialists out there, and you'll go to one, you'll get a treatment, may work, may not. Go to the next. And it will be that, like you said, you go to try someone like yourself, and it might be maybe what has that little bit of movement, a little bit of progress where you go, that was worth the money, rather than going to the same person, getting no results for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying, is always when people, like a lot of people, you know, they have an immediate, everybody's different. That's why I say I can't tell you how long treatments are going to be, how long you need, or how many you need. Some people walk in the treatment room, I think, how am I going to fix these?
Yeah.
And they're absolutely fine when they walk out there. Other people come in, I think, oh, this is going to be an easy fix. 3 or 4 sessions later, it's getting better, but it's taken a while to heal. But, you know, so it really does depend on the individual. So, you know, you have got to find the treatment that suits you.
How rewarding is it for you then? I'm just thinking now, because you've got people coming in with these issues.
Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's the most rewarding job, I think, in the world, mate, honestly. The people that see me, I've had people coming in crying, and they go out where they're so happy. And the thing is, I kind of I make friends with so many people just because I'm good at my job. Do you know what I mean? It's fantastic. You know, it's amazing. I've had someone come in. She'll know who I'm talking about when if she watches this podcast. But she come in to see me, and she was crying, and she's in so much pain, bless her heart. And you could tell she thought I was just one of these other people that are just going, you know, just giving the spill sort of thing. And she was all right after 2 sessions, I think. But wow. She noticed the difference. She'd been to see someone that morning. Now, when she saw me in the evening, because I work late, I'm pretty much working, well, I was working 24 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, she come in and saw her, so you could tell she'd been to see someone in the morning, and she had lower back pain. And basically, they didn't do anything. They just said, go and put some ice on it and what have you. They did a bit of sort of massaging around that area, but she said they didn't really do anything. And that cost her, I think, about 50 quid for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy money. But yeah, she come in, and she got up off the mat. She said, oh yeah, the pain it's different. I said, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I said, if it's not that sharp sort of stabbing pain, I said, it's just aching. Because I said, you've done damage at the end of the day. Because I said, you know, you have to realise, people have this attitude of, and I'm guilty of it back in the past, I put my back out. Okay, well, what does that mean? It just means, oh, you know, I can be fixed back into place. No, you've cut yourself on the inside. You've done damage on the inside. Now, it takes longer to repair on the inside than it does on the outside. So you imagine if you cut your skin quite deeply, down in your lower back area, you're not going to be running around like a lunatic, because you're going to reopen this scab, this open wound. So therefore, you've got to think like that. That's happened on the inside. So that's why I try and tell people, you've got to take care of yourself out of the. You haven't just put your back out; you've done damage in there. So it's going to take time to heal now. I've taken the pressure off. You've got to look after yourself. So she went away, and a couple of days later, she came back and she said, you can tell there's improvement, but it's still there. I said, that's fine, it will be. It might not be one treatment. Anyway, after the second one, she's fine, and now she just sees me for a monthly maintenance session.
Nice.
2 treatments, and again, that was the most rewarding finish. She's one of my best mates now. It's crazy.
Mate, what a job. So who's it for then? Is it literally just for everyone? There's no
so obviously, the older you get, and if you haven't had any problems, if you've had problems in the past, you haven't been treated, you just need to take people as they come. You've got to be a bit more careful. It's not so much gung-ho, with a young person, spring chicken like yourself, paces. You've got to be a bit careful. The only people that I would say is not for is people, ladies going throughout their pregnancy, because it's not worth the risk of not doing damage to the body, but it's more if you haven't had, say for instance, people have this view of women going to the gym while they're pregnant, and they say, is it good or bad? And it's like, well, if someone's used to going to the gym all the time, and they're used to doing a shed load of squats and whatever pull-ups, then it's not really going to affect their mindset or have a shock to the body. Whereas if someone's having regular chiro treatments, or being pulled to pieces, or deep tissue massages, because the massage hurts more than being
it's quite damaging. It's quite damaging, isn't it? Any therapy I think that works will cause damage. Otherwise, you're going to cause some sort of micro tears or some
kind
sort
of
damage.
It's a bit like going to the gym, and that's why people get. And I say, look, it's like going to the gym after a first time in ages. You're going to get that stiffness, but that means there's something changing in your body. But that's what I say about the people going through pregnancy. If you're not used to this, it's a bit of a shock to the body, and it's not worth risking baby, basically.
Yeah, I don't touch them, mate. I don't touch them.
No.
Don't touch them. Any PT, anything. Been there before. Not interested anymore. I'll refer them on.
It's not worth.
Refer them on happily. Just not my thing, unfortunately.
Don't have kids.
No, it's It's like you said. I'm fully confident and competent that I know what I'm doing, and I've done it in the past.
Yes.
But there's been a situation in the past where someone did lose their baby, and I was doing all of the correct training and procedures and precautions. Even the person who lost the baby said it has 100% nothing to do with myself, but it had put me off ever working with someone again, knowing that this isn't something that I'd rather just say to them, just sit on the sofa and get fat. Even if there was a 0.01% chance that the training had something to do with it, then that would, eat me up inside. So,
I know, and then you take it on yourself in your mind. It's just not worth it.
I steer clear. So before we go into the sort of some questions on what people have sent in, why is this treatment different then? So different from what's currently out there from your chiropractors and your deep tissue massages?
There's so obviously number one, it's fully clothed. That's a little thing, but there's a few techniques that are in there. Obviously, I can't sort of say, I'll have to show you, but you know a lot of them. So you've had it done. There's like it's mainly because it's holistic and it offers the 2 treatments in one. So if you're going to come and see me, or go for a massage, and then go and see someone else for joint alignment, this does it all in one package, basically. And it does the whole body, as opposed to working in parts. So it treats the whole body, basically. that's pretty much it. Obviously,
Nice.
It's very basic, but it works. It's the whole lot. It's the whole shebang. And combined with like me trying to help people with their postural issues at the practice room, to be honest, this is the best treatment on the market as far as I'm concerned, and from my own experience with it, to sort of share it with the world and say, look, come see me. That's why I think it's the best.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I've got a few questions, a couple I've thrown in myself, but I'm just trying to think which one to go for next. So yeah, this is probably the best one to start with, the last one I've got. And that is it better than sports massage? Because sports massage is probably the most popular treatment out there at the moment. How is it against?
I've had one. I've had one, yeah. And it was more of a focused thing as opposed to being holistic, and that's why I kind of believe that yes, it is better. It's different, don't get me wrong, and there's a couple of instances. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a person to say that I'm a hogger of people. Don't go and see that therapy. Come to see me. There's a few instances where I haven't been able to release a certain joint or whatever. Yeah. So I commend a sports therapist or a physio. Or something to release this particular muscle to get it to relax enough. Then I say, come back and see me like the day after or something, and I'm able to release the joint. But yeah, certainly I believe it's better because, as I said, it's holistic as opposed to treating a little part of the body. And regarding the massage, it is a deep tissue massage as well as the joint alignment. So it's the two. So you're not just getting the benefit of just a massage.
2 in 1.
But it is different. It is different.
So when is the best time to get to have this treatment? Is it better to do it on a day away from the gym or training?
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. So that's a good question, actually. So I always recommend, I get a lot of people come in and go, I've got back problems, but I thought it's all right. I'll go and train it today because I'm seeing you today.
Yep.
He knows what I'm talking about there if he's watching this podcast as well. So I get a lot of he does it to me all the time, but that makes your muscles more tense. So I can't release joints sometimes. So sometimes it's better to maybe, I like to get people to go, well, at Pulse anyway, is go and have a sauna or a steam room at half an hour before you come and see me, or have a real hot bath. If a joint goes on you and you get nerve pain, it's best to put ice on it or alternate between the heat and ice packs, a couple of minutes on, a couple of minutes off. If you're just about to have a treatment, it's best to have the muscles all nice and as loose as best you can.
Right, yeah.
I can release the joints. So I would say it's probably best not to train that day, and certainly definitely not after for probably the next day. But if you have to train, no impact, okay? Because it's the jolting that sets all these alarms off for this in a second in your body. It's the jolting that stops you from, muscles cramping and stuff. So, no impact, light weights, more so a high repetition. If you are going to have to lift weights, you don't really have to be. If you want to, light weights, high repetitions as opposed to heavy weights, low reps.
Got you, yeah.
On the joints that I've just released.
I was wondering what you were going to say for this one. I did think, because I know it's quite not a damaging therapy, but it's going to take a bit of time to things to settle down after the treatment.
And that's the thing. And as I said with the back management, as quickly as I can fix someone, just as quickly you can walk out of here. Yeah. Because even when people drive to see me, I have to advise them on how to get in and out of their car better. When you get in and out with one foot, you open the door, you step out with one foot, you're on that one hip joint. Now, if it's your hip joint that's the problem that you come to see me about, you don't want to put too much pressure on it. So you want to sit down, like women will know if they've been pregnant before. You get in, you sit down, and you twist your legs round, with both feet, and you get out with both feet and you stand up. So you try and keep that even distribution of your weight as much as possible. So yeah, it is
what you meant to do? You meant to get in the car backwards?
Not backwards, no. So I suppose. So when you sit down like that and then you swing your legs round. So yeah, I suppose it is backwards.
Everyone laughs at me because I climb into cars. I've always done it my whole life. I go in my knee. So I go in like first, and then I like swing round underneath. But if there's someone in the passenger seat, you literally headbutt them, and then you get in.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe I just think I'm 10 again. Mate, that links on to another question then. What exercises or habits could someone do to improve their back health, as you are the back man? You mentioned desk heights and monitors. Is there anything in their daily life that you think
so I always call it, for the older generation, and that's me included, if you've seen Happy Days, the TV show, I call it the thumbs. The thumbs. Yeah, so what we do, we take the thumbs and we point them to the back of the room, okay? And they're just used as a guide, okay? But your focus point is here. So what you're not going to do is jut your head out like a turkey at Christmas, okay? Ready to have his neck cut off. You're going to keep it nice and neutral, and you just twist your thumbs to the back of the room. Now, what that does, it gives an external rotation to the shoulder, and basically you can see there, I'm not sort of hunching over. So that will encourage your posture to come backwards. The second thing is your scapulars, which is your shoulder blades. You kind of, not to a degree that you're, if I go by a percentage rule, so this is 0%, the old character Mr. Burns, and this is 100% where you're walking around like you own the joint in the gym, sort of, I'd like to go sort of 10% to start with. It's like my evolution picture on my... Yeah, so it's in stages. So for the first month, I would like to go 10%. Then the next month, you go 20% and 30%, so on and so forth. Because if you go from there to there, your rhomboids and that, they get tired very, very quickly.
Just constant, you're talking about. Just constant when you're sitting there.
Yeah, so just 10%. And this is the thing. If you're sitting there for 8 hours a day, like that, you're eventually just going to drop and drop and drop. It's like resting a plank of wood over an edge. Eventually, it's going to start to bow. You can't expect to turn it upside down, press on it, and expect it to go back into alignment.
Snap.
Yeah, you've got to do it over time. So that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And plus, with the 10%, over the next month, your muscles are going to be trained enough to hold that position without you thinking about it. Then you'll be able to go 20%, and then 30%, so on and so forth. So you're gradually increasing your muscle strength to hold you into position. So obviously, like, I don't know if you've got a next question, which is going to be like vests, the postural vests or whatever.
No.
But they are good to encourage your brain to keep...
What are they? I don't even know what they are.
They're just a strap, basically, that holds you back. No. The trouble is that it doesn't train your muscles to hold you naturally in that position. So they get weaker. So you could use it a day on and a day off to encourage yourself, but I like to do it as a natural process. But it's not about externally rotating your shoulders as well. With regards to your shoulder blades, the position of which... Let's get a candy cane. I normally use a pen, right? But here, okay, if you imagine this is a pen, all right, and what you got to do is to try and hold that pen in place between shoulder blades, okay? So you're going to do that movement. But again, it's only the 10% to start with. And what that does is it brings your shoulders back as opposed to externally rotating. It's going to bring him back into place as opposed to drooping out and around.
Yeah.
Now, I generally find that people that are right-handed, their shoulders are out further because they're always writing or doing things with the keyboard or whatever. That's the one that they use. So it draws it out further.
Yeah, I think mine is, I think my right one is actually, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why.
No questions on those braces, but the only thing that everyone in where I work, the industry that I'm, focused in the fitness world, is those waist trainers and slimming belts. The people wear around their core. Do you know what I mean? People wear those belts like corsets. What,
for back pain or for
potentially? Well, we've got two reasons. One is because I
saw Jack's one. You were moaning about people walking around with them on for the sake of it the other day.
Yeah, that was the lifting belts. But the belts, either the corsets, people to make their waist smaller. But what are your thoughts then on the wearing them for lower back pain? Because people walk around with these waist trainer belts because they got bad back. Is that good or bad in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's whatever makes you feel comfortable. I mean, if you put it on and it's making your back worse, there's no point in having it on. But if you put it on and there is some kind of, support there, it's like when you do your kneeing, you put a little bandage around it or something like that, or a knee brace, just for a while to keep it in check. Is it only to wear consistently throughout your everyday life all the time? Probably not. But if you need that pain relief for a short while, I don't really see any harm in it. Especially if you're going to work, doing a manual job, bending over all the time, things like that. It's going to restrict your movement, which is obviously going to help you not bend over too far like that. So in my opinion, I wore one in the past and it helped a little bit, but I don't wear them forever and ever. Because, you get reliant on it.
Okay, so short term is perfect. How often would you recommend this treatment? Once a week?
How long's a piece of string? It's
so you can do it regularly.
I would say, as an Englishman, okay, knowing how our people are, it's I would say once a month is appropriate.
Yep.
And definitely once a week is no harm in it, and you'd probably feel wonderful for having it. But it all comes down to money eventually. With people, and I completely understand that, which is why I always give people an option of, if you want to be pain free, we just see how you are throughout a couple of days after the treatment, and then we reschedule another one if you feel you need. As honest as they come. So, but if you've got, say, a problem with scoliosis, which is the S shape of the spine, where you, again, it's caused by the pelvic alignment being out, it's going to take a lot of frequent treatment. So it really does depend what you want out of it. So I do give people options. Yeah. Whatever they require or what they need, sort of thing.
That makes sense.
A monthly maintenance session. That's
Last two then. I've got quite a few. So you touched on core being quite important. I don't know if you prescribe any sort of core exercises or strengthening movements at all. Have you got any that you're very keen on that you could recommend to people, as people are wanting to strengthen their core?
I do, and it depends on their situation as well. I don't like sit-ups, especially when people are suffering with the C7 area, which is where the neck is sort of meets the shoulders, because there's a lot of pressure on the neck going upwards.
Sit-ups can do one, mate. No time for them.
Yeah. So things like that, but I would say sort of it's hard to explain really. It's almost like you sit in a C-sit position, you bring your knees up to your chest. Mm-hmm. So I call them in and out abs. So you sort of bring your knees up to your chest and out. Okay, so that's not a bad one. But then what I like to do is when you go out, you lift your legs up in a straight and then down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think they're called almost like a tuck crunch.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of V-sit.
A leg lift sort of thing, yeah.
Very small movements.
Yeah, it's almost like when you're on a dip bar and you're raising your legs up.
Yeah.
Towards like a horizontal position. Kind of like that. But the slower that you do it, the better. And the thing is when people are doing, I'll do this. I'm like, well, no, sort of sit back properly.
Yeah.
And then core and do it slow. And they're like, Lemon, Christ. And it's like, we still got it.
Try and get 8 reps and then tell me that's...
This is it, yeah. And as soon as you possibly do it, because at the end of the day, you're there to see me about rehab, as opposed to, I'm trying to keep you safe and keep you training, as opposed to building up if you want to become the next Hercules or something,
But even then, they need that basic level of core strength to build from.
But the thing is, there's a lot to do with it. Sorry, I just got a message on my watch. I didn't know what it was.
Sorry, I can't handle them.
Yes, I know. Horrendous. But with the core, it's something about it's not about building and doing 100 sit-ups a day. It's not about building it so you've got an absolute rack on you there, sort of. it's about utilising your core as and when you need it throughout your everyday activities. So again, what I was saying to you about picking up that rubble set, even if you have to pick your keys up off the floor, all you need to do is pull your core in so you flatten your stomach out a little bit by 10%, and it will do the rest. So basically, when you bend over, so say for instance like this, don't do a fart noise, please.
I can edit it.
Up the disc space like that, okay? And then you find that when people go and pick things up off the floor, they're okay when they're like that, but it's when they come back up, they go, oh, my back's gone, right? Or when you look around, you go, oh, my neck's gone. It's that quick movement that does it. Now, when you bend over and your core is not engaged, I can feel all this tension already on this lower back. Now, if I pull my core in, sorry, excuse the bad God, I'm allowed to have one.
Yes, it's Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. I don't feel that tension anymore when I come up. So it's about pulling that in, just a little bit, It's not about pulling it in so you can't breathe. It's about utilising it just that little bit, and it will do the rest for you. And I'm talking about if you drop a little bit of paper on the floor, it can be something like that. People say, I've done 100 squats, I've done 100 deadlifts, and today I went and flipping picked something off the floor and it's gone. I said, well, because
you're not true. It's true.
When you're bracing yourself throughout a workout, you're using all your stability muscles to the best that they can be. You don't think when you're dropping a bit of paper on the floor and you go and pick it up that you're going to hurt yourself, but you can, and that's what happens.
Nice.
You just need to be mindful. It's hard to train your brain up, but that is my message that I'm trying to get out there to people. And then when they come to it, bloody hell, you're right. Like when you just all these silly little things that you're making. Even when you're walking up and down the stairs,
yeah.
It makes you feel so much lighter than when you're running up and down the stairs and things like that. It's silly things, but that's what over time, over years and years and years and years of doing the bad way, let's call it. That's when you put yourself out.
It's the silly things that cause injuries, and I know a man that injured himself skipping in the first lockdown. He'll tell you that.
Really?
Yeah, my knee's still fucked. So, final question from me: Can it make you taller?
Yes, it can. Funny enough, I had a lady, and she was going to write me a testimonial, but she never got round to it. I need to get on her case about it. But she, again, the classic sort of Mr. Burns look. And after, let's say, probably like 5-6 treatments, like on a weekly basis, after a while, I don't know, for whatever reason, she went back to the hospital and got measured. And the lady said, you've actually grown like 1.5 inches to 2 inches. She said, that's crazy. So she made a point of phoning me up to tell me that. So, yes.
Was it just the curve in the spine, or do you reckon it was also the gaps between the vertebrae as well?
I would say it's more the curvature for her, but yes. You're releasing the joints. It's like when you stand for long periods throughout the day.
Yeah.
You slightly get shorter because you're becoming more compressed. So when you wake up in the morning, you're horizontal. You wake up and you're slightly. I don't know if that's a myth, actually.
I don't know. So there's a lot of people getting into inversion tables now. Where you strap your feet in and you go upside down and you hang for 2 minutes.
Christ. Yeah.
And they claim there's a big thing about it actually being able to make you taller because it's, that lengthening process through the spine. I don't know how much
truth be possible. I mean, when you hang off of a pull-up bar, and sometimes you can feel it decompressing the lower back, and there's something in there. Yeah, I would probably bet on it that it was probably true. Yeah.
But even if you just straighten your S shape, if you straighten that S, the time you can obviously be taller.
You increase your exactly. It's exactly that. Yeah.
I have to know about these things being short,
Yeah.
Every inch counts. Every millimetre. Cool. So let's go into the really exciting, most important questions, if I can find them, to wrap the show up, mate.
Can I just do something quickly? Because I made a model here earlier for you.
So amazing. Is it like, bring on a mascot?
Please excuse the crudity of this model. I haven't had time to paint it. All right.
Wait, this.
Right. So this here, okay. I've got my Play-Doh set out. All right. So.
Oh, well, this is brilliant. This is TV gold.
This is, mate. I'm telling you, it don't come much better than this. Okay, so this represents your vertebrae and your disc. Okay, and this here is like the nerves in your spine. So
mate,
when you
this looks horribly wrong, mate. From this,
when you get a bulging disc, it presses on there. Okay, now with the nerves, this here is like the buzzer game. Although I haven't got any, electricity racked up to it.
Oh, we'll make noises.
Let's say, for instance, right, I'm trying to get this hoop around, okay? I'm going to do it now. Right, but if it touches the side, it sets an alarm off, okay? So this here represents the nervous system in your spine, okay? So if your vertebrae gets compressed on this nerve, it sets the alarm off in your brain, okay? So when people come and say to me, oh, I think it's more muscular, it's basically the nerves as well, mostly, because the nerves control the muscles, okay? So what happens is when that vertebrae or a bulging disc or whatever, you move and, you've hurt yourself, it sets the alarm off and the brain tells the muscle to clamp down around that particular area because it doesn't want you to move and make things worse. And that is what the pain is there for. I just thought that there was quite important because a lot of people think it's a muscular issue and it's not. It's like a trapped nerve or the nerve has been clamped and compromised by the muscles, which stops things from working. And obviously that's, why you're in agony.
Yeah.
With regard, going back to your other question about a sports massage, is it better? The reason being why I would say yes is because Yumeiho offers the joint release as well as the massage involved. So I would massage the muscle or knead the muscle to try and get, a bit softer. But once that joint is released, the nerve gets released of pressure and then the muscle's able to calm down even further. So that's why I just used that as your beefy gold. My
that was it.
I never got my Blue Peter badge. I don't know why.
Mate, that was took me back a little bit there. No one's ever made a model on here yet.
No, I should have. I was going to buy a proper spine one, but I can't afford it because they've been working.
No, that I'm not sure what you showed me made out of Play-Doh then, but I hope your kid didn't make it. That's brilliant, mate. So we were gonna. I haven't done this for ages. The in the bin section. Mate. The in the bin section was like room 101, where you choose one thing that you fucking hate to get rid of. I feel like we should do something positive after this year, but never mind. Go for something you hate.
As in what? With regards to the therapy or?
No, anything in life, mate. Just whatever it is.
Oh, anything in life. Oh, fucking bullies. I just hate fucking bullies. I just hate them. I'd quite happily fucking annihilate them all. Take them off the planet. I hate them.
What? The modern ones.
And be kind. I hate people putting people down. There's no need for it. It's always try and again, I learned that in, the gym. I always found that people were nicer to people. Like people get, I know I'm relating to the gym here, but people are very, very daunted about going to like in a place where there's, big geezers or, really nice looking girls. And you get anxiety over it because you think, oh Christ, I don't know what I'm doing. But you'd be surprised, man. Everyone's so helpful and everyone wants to, because what they've achieved, they want to help people get to that stage. But that's a really nice place to be in. But it's when people are putting people down, I just don't like. I just never have like bullies.
And social media has made it so much worse.
Yeah, it has. There's just no need for it. Treat people how you want to be treated, I say. So,
I don't know if people realise. I wonder this. I don't know if people realise there's someone at the other end. You know what I mean? They message you, they don't realise there's someone actually at the other end. Like, do they realise when they're slagging off these celebrities or whoever they're slagging off that there's actually a human at the other side reading the messages?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, again, things like this. I know, I ain't gonna have a million views or anything, but you sort of thinking maybe I'll get some, what they call trolls or something. Is it?
Yeah, you might get trolls. I don't know, mate. I get. Some of my videos, the ones that have had the most views, have had the most hate, and I want to take them down, but I can't be bothered because it drives people to me, even if it's for good or bad reasons. I don't really.
Exactly. Yeah. What is it? Bad publicity. Any publicity.
Mate, I've given up caring.
That's it. But I think that's the best way to be. But I think if you let it, it will consume you, and that's what I'm saying. But it's getting past that stage of not caring. I think fair play to you.
I deal with enough, mate. I've been working in administration for the last 10 years in gyms, and so I'm always the one who deals with issues, complaints. You know, it can get.
People should be nice to each other, and that's it. You know, be better players.
Especially right now in
exactly
the situation we're in. Everyone seems to think they're what they call like a unique snowflake. Everyone thinks they're in their own unique boat. And as much as my life at the moment is shite, it's actually really, really good.
Yeah. There's people out there that are completely worse.
Yeah.
You know, got a mate who's, he's living in a flat with his mum and dad. And this was all through the summer period, by the way. And his workplace, his relaxing place, his bedroom, everything was in this one room for months.
Yep.
That had a massive impact. And you're thinking we can't go out, and I've got a garden with a paddling pool in. You're thinking I'm okay here. Although financially I was worried.
Yeah.
We got through it. I mean, it was hard, but you just draw your belt in. Do you know what I mean?
And I found this year for me, I found funny really. I mean, after the year I had the year before, I was like being put on things like furlough and the fear of not having a job and not.
I never got anything like that. I couldn't claim anything.
No, so I was like,
me down at the beginning of the year, I couldn't claim anything.
Yeah, mate, we had a lot of trainers in the same boat. So for me, it wasn't too bad really. I can't moan. So after a couple of years I had the year before, this has been an okay year for me. But I know for some people it's been pretty horrific. Very horrific, because I'm guessing there's a lot of businesses.
No, exactly.
Right, let's get on to the serious stuff, because I did enough in the bins myself the other week. Quick fire 5, mate. We'll wrap it up. What's your favourite drink? I think we touched on this.
Alcoholic drink, yeah, we have touched on this. It's definitely developed a taste over the lockdown for spiced rum. So yeah. All too much, to be fair. New Year's resolution coming up, I think.
No, New Year soon. What's your favourite food?
I've got it's chicken casserole, but it's my grand's. It's a homemade recipe, so trade secrets.
Sorry, chicken casserole. I was not expecting that.
No, it's the way my nan cooks it. It's good. It's lovely. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I suppose.
Because this is a gym, it has the word gym in the title. What's your favourite training, or your favourite style of training, or your favourite body part to train?
So I would say shoulders. For whatever reason, if I get shoulders out, I actually enjoy doing it, as opposed to any other body part. I don't know why. I just like training them.
I thought you were going to give me what you told me about a year ago. I thought you were going to go chest and back again. But...
Oh no! Don't let me sing it again. Chest and back again. I forgot.
I was expecting that. Dream job. I bet it's this one. I bet it is.
I would have, looking back on it, if I could do it all again, I'd love to be a professional snowboarder. Absolutely. But this, I've managed to reach it. Never in a million years being in construction work, I thought I would be treating people and helping people, and it's the best thing I've ever done. And I just want to say it again. Let me touch on this. Sorry if you've got time. If you've got a goal and you want to reach it, there is no reason for you not to go after it. I mean, it wasn't an easy road by a long shot. I had to study. I was, I've got a mortgage. I've got a 5-year-old. Well, he wasn't 5 then, but I had a baby to look after. I was going to work full time, sometimes 7 days a week, but I was studying on the train to work, on the train home, during my lunch hour. Any opportunity I got, study. Where
was your first? Were you working? Did you come to? So no one obviously knows. We haven't mentioned it, but obviously I know you because you came to work at this gym that we closed down a few years ago. Were you working before that, weren't you, at another local gym?
So there's a martial arts gym called Raptors in Sutton. Very good for martial arts. And then after that, I moved on to Go Gym, and unfortunately, obviously, Go Gym. Unfortunately, there's about 600 gyms open up in Sutton at the same time.
Yeah, 2 went in the same month as well.
Yeah, 2. But there was so now I'm based in Pulse Fitness in Carshalton, so just down the road from Sutton.
So South London, very South London for anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah. That's it.
Actually, we'll touch at the end on how people can contact you and anyone else that specialises in it. But then the final question is, when you're training, what's your favourite music to train to? And we need 2 songs.
If I train. As I say, not do as I do.
When you were squatting.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there a song called "Oh Shit"? I've just hurt my back. I don't know. I'm a big Linkin Park fan. I love it. And to actually start off a training session to try and get in the mood, I listened to a song called "Paper Cut."
Yeah, love it.
It was one of their first ones they've ever brought out in their first album, Hybrid Theory. And then when I'm sort of feeling a bit drained or a bit deflated halfway through the workout, there's a song called Wastelands as well, which was on the Hunting Party album.
Yes, very interesting album.
Yeah, it's different, yeah. But they're the 2 songs that I like listening to massively when I'm working out. Give me a bit of a boost.
Nice. Awesome. We'll get them added. So before we wrap up then, you've given us a couple of tips. What's your top tip then for people to live a healthy life?
Don't have kids.
Done.
That's it. I've gone grey. You should see a picture of me 4 years ago. I was really looking healthy.
How old are you now? What, 26?
What's that?
What are you now, 26?
I'm 36 now, mate. Come on.
Wait, you keep saying about young people like myself. I turned 34 this year, mate.
Yeah, I know. We're old fuddy duddies now, mate. Seriously, I mean, obviously, I don't have to tell you, food is a massive, massive, important part for a healthy lifestyle. But I would say, try not to be as stressed. Do you know what I mean? I think that has a massive, massive impact on your health. So if you can find a job that is that you enjoy or is non-stressful, go for it. Or always put things in a diary to look forward to alleviate your stress levels of, of not being able to get where you want to be or do whatever you want to do. I think stress is the biggest thing for people, I think. Yeah. Nice.
Wrap it up then, mate. How can people get in touch with you? What are your social emails, that sort of thing?
Yeah. So my website is www.backtonormaluk.com. At the moment, if you type in Back to Normal UK, it's coming up with Boris and all his palaver. So you have to type in backtonormaluk.com. All right.
Don't want to hear his name.
Yeah. Oh dear. So my mobile number is 077 656 30198. You can get in contact with me there. I'm available on WhatsApp, text message, whatever. Email, backtonormaluk@gmail.com. I do have a Facebook page, Back to Normal UK, and on Instagram, I can't even bother to
Back to Normal UK, probably.
There's like underscores in there everywhere. So, but after every word is an underscore.
I'll put the links below when I find them all. Is there anyone else in the country?
On Zoom, it was fucking hard enough to get this up and running.
We got there. And if anyone else wants this therapy and they're not in the London area or they're not able to travel to London, obviously we're talking post-COVID here. Where else in the country can they go, or where can they find out who?
I'm actually a mobile practitioner as well. So I am mobile, so I can come to you. Obviously, in the local area, there's a little bit of a travel fee on top of that, not much. But if you do live out of the local area, to Mitcham, Croydon, Carshalton, Sutton, that sort of way, if you're out further,
like Liverpool.
Yeah. Yeah. Christ, don't go that far, but yeah, I'll just go by your postcode. So just give me your postcode area, and we'll work out out of fee for travelling. I kind of try and do it. You know, I'm reasonable. I'm not, you know, a total biscuit artist. So,
David, is there anyone
like an Uber app or something like that? You know?
Yeah. Is there anyone in the country, many people, or is there anywhere they can go to find out who else practices it?
Yes, there is. I can text you.
Well, worst case, someone can drop you a message. One of your.
Yeah. There's not, and the thing is to our website on. Hang on, sorry. Let me just look because it will be quick. So yeah, it's on www.yumeihotherapy.co.uk, and you can see all the practitioners that are dotted around the UK. And there's not many of us. It's quite new to the UK. This, I think there's only sort of 8 or 9 of us dotted around.
Oh wow!
No, there's someone in Edinburgh anyway. And
fine, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, post lockdown, everyone will be able to get treated for their back pain.
Excellent.
Mate, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much for taking the time.
No, thank you. And sorry I waffled like nobody's business on half of the subjects. I sort of trail off and go into one, but
we've got nothing else to do, mate. We've got nothing else to do. I'll let you sign the show off or whatever you want, whatever rubbish.
Oh Christ! I don't know what to say now. You caught me off guard there, Tim. Thanks for having us on the show, and everyone. Obviously, 2020 has been absolutely diabolical for some people, but I hope you have a good 2021. So, Happy New Year to everyone, and a Merry Christmas.